polish. This is Zippy. A lot of y'all may recognize Zippy. Zippy's been with us for about 2 years. We love Zippy. But Zippy is going to a new home today. I had newspaper in there with her, but she like scooched it all to the back there. Yep, Zippy is going to a happy new home today. So a lot of y'all may think that means I'm getting rid of my flock and giving up because I haven't done a video in like an eternity. That's because I have been on and off sick, like a lot. The day of the Ellis County Poultry Trade Show, my device acted up. We actually made it to the show. Looked so amazing from the outside. So many cars. They had like valet parking, and it was nice and open, and it was pretty cool. I was very impressed with the setup, but started throwing up on the way there, so we didn't get to go. Yeah, and we ended up having to leave, and that was that. So they have a fall show, and that is in a couple of months. I'm going to make that one instead. I believe it's in September. I'm going to double check that, and I'll let y'all know for sure. But we'll be doing the top 10 starter chickens for your flock video that day. And yeah, all I can say is holy cow, this year it's been crazy. But we have done some growth. We have managed to hatch and add 7 cream leg bars to our flock, which I'm really excited about. And we have managed to fulfill quite a few orders this year. And it's just been busy. Just that incubator hasn't stopped since we got it. I tell you what, it's just been out with one, day later in with the next. And speaking of hatchlings, today we're actually on our way to pick up Silkies and Satins. Now, if you don't know what a Silkie or Satin is, you definitely need to stay tuned. That's what today's video is about. We're going to go visit a Silkie breeder in Wills Point. Her name is Chloe, and I am really excited to introduce her to you. I've known her for about 2 years now, and Chloe's a wonderful breeder, and she is so knowledgeable. So we're going to learn what are Silkies, what are Satins, why do you want them, what are they good for, and other than being insanely cute, almost like Polish. She also has a flock of Polish, and that's why we've got Zippy in the car with us today. Is Zippy is going to go join a flock of Polish. I have no intention of breeding Polish. I think they're cute. I tried to have a flock, but we're not set up with our setup well enough to really have a flock of Polish. Chloe is. She's got a good, safe home for Zippy, where Zippy will have other Polish little friends, just like herself. So this should make her very happy. And yeah, let's wrap this up and get into the video. We're on the road. We'll be there in about 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours or so. For y'all, just close your eyes, open them. Bye. Okay, so here I am. I have made it out here to Wills Point. It's gorgeous. This wonderful woman is so blessed. She gets to live like a quarter mile from, what lake is that? Lake
Tawakoni.
Tawakoni. That's I've never even heard of Lake Tawakoni.
The catfish out there get pretty big. And so as well, and the bass too.
I'm a fisherman. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't even care if I catch anything. I'll just sit with a fishing pole in the line and just wait for it to twitch. I'm perfectly good. I'm great that way. Do you fish a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm in the mood for fish, I do. Otherwise, I get bored.
Do you catfish?
Yeah. I get whatever fish I can get that's big enough to eat.
Big enough to eat. Yeah.
They've got clams in there too if you want
clams.
Yeah, if
You're
you want
kidding
to
me.
Clams. Yeah,
wow.
Clams.
That's cool. That's cool.
They're tasty.
Yeah, we were talking that one time. We were talking about using the rooster feathers. Was that? And you can actually take rooster feathers and you can get the capes or the saddles and dry them out and sell them for fly fishermen.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's a little bit closer to the subject we're actually here to talk about on this extremely hot, muggy Texas day. I was going to get your coop and everything in the picture. It is so adorable. They're
working on it. It looks fabulous. They've made a ton of progress since last time I was here. So they've just got the pin left to go, is what you were saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. They did what I wanted done to the coop, so they're just working on the extension to the pin and then adding the roofing and making that and securing that hardware cloth on better because I don't like the way it looks. It's kind of ugly.
Yeah, you were telling me you've got like a predator problem out here in this part of East Texas.
Yeah, and it's
You said the hawks were brazen, like they're diving out of the sky and trying to take that one woman's bird or dog out of her arms.
They took a neighbor of mine. They took her chicken right out of her arms.
Holy cow! I'd have to go in the house and change my pants. Like, I don't mean to be crass, but I'd be like, "You deserve it. I'm done for the day. Like, it's it for me. I can't compete with that."
I've even seen them snatching up stray cats and small dogs.
Wow. Well, that's why you don't free range your silkies and your babies, is it?
Yeah.
What kind of breeds do you have here?
I have the silkies, the satins, Easter egg or bantams, and the Polish.
And Polish. You don't have coaching?
I did, but unfortunately, I lost them.
Yeah.
But I got what I wanted out of them anyways.
That's great. That's great. I love your birds. They are so cute. I actually don't have Easter egg or bantams. And it looks like Zippy's got plenty of friends in there. We are here today to talk about silkies and satins. So first off, what is a satin? You got to explain to us, what is a satin? Define the word satin chicken breed.
A satin would be by mixing a bantam cochin with a silkie and then selectively breeding the offspring over a period of generations using silkies. Prefer the higher the quality, the better.
Okay. So you start with silkie and like cochin, breed them together, and then take those babies and go back to a really good quality silkie.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it with pet quality, but it just depends on your goal. If you're really looking for a nice satin, the higher the quality, the better.
So those of you who don't know, I know we've got a lot of beginners on my channel. So those of you who don't know, the difference between pet quality and show quality is pretty much the same as with any breed. Pet quality doesn't have that standard of APA perfection down pat, whereas a show quality, you can take this thing to a show and it's like, they're like, puffy head, check, coloration, check, beak formation, check, body structure, check it. And it goes down that checklist and hits every confirmation for that particular breed. So what are the confirmations that you look for if you're going to go from silky to satin? What do you look for in the babies?
If you're in satin babies, what you look for is some nice, fluffy, regular feathers, no leakage. Got to have 5 toes, black skin, and nice puffy poofs, and of course the V-shaped body. Basically, essentially the same as a.
What do you mean by V-shaped body? Is that like if you're looking at it from the side, it looks like a V, or from the front? Or...
Like from the side, their bodies have got the tail and head. I've got it look kind of tight together.
Now you specifically breed out the vault. Now again, for you new guys, the vault on a chicken is with a crested chicken. And it's a soft spot where the skull doesn't close fully. And it's not a requirement to have one or not to have one. It's really a breeder's choice. Most breeders do breed the hole into their breed, but that's because they're not looking at skull formation or safety of the bird or its lifestyle or condition or habits or anything like that. They're looking for a really big puff. And when you've got that vault, they do have a tendency to lean towards the big puff. But what I love about your birds is you've managed to work the vault out so the birds are more stable in like a smaller environment. If they jump and bump their heads, they don't end up with like instant concussion. But your birds still have such a big puff. How many generations did it take to accomplish that?
I'd say about 6.
Yeah.
And I still occasionally have them pop up, and so it's still a work in progress.
It is. One of the babies I picked up from you looks like it has a vault, but again, not a killer if you're a breeder. I actually personally don't mind the vault, but I just really love the fact that the majority of your birds don't have it, and it does make them hardier. It really does. Yeah. So, silkies. I want to talk about Silkies. I've already done a video about coaching. Y'all, if you want to see the coaching side of the satin project and what it's going to take to have coaching, go back, look at the coaching video. But Silkies, what special needs do Silkies have?
Well, for starters, they're prone to wry neck. So they 100% need to have a vitamin water-free choice available all the time.
Oh, what's a wry neck?
Wry neck refers to selenium deficiency.
Selenium deficiency? How do you identify it?
But for starters, when they look like they're stargazing, when their neck just goes to the side.
So they're like looking up constantly.
Yeah.
Your neck's just bent back and you're struggling to go forward.
Yeah. Yep.
That's sad. That's sad.
I hate when I see that.
I've only seen that once and it is so sad. You just cry for the baby.
Yeah,
you really do.
Yeah, and even with the treatment, it's still 50-50 on if you give them their selenium and B vitamins back.
Yeah,
and that's also why you don't give them medicated feed.
Yeah, the medicated feed. Organic feed, I love organic feed, but that's why it's so important. Chicks need that starter grower crumbles, and it has that extra selenium and the extra minerals and nutrients that they need, and doesn't have some stuff that they can't handle yet. Like adults need calcium, but I didn't know it until I got chicks. Babies do not need that much calcium. In fact, very, very, very little, because their bodies can't digest it yet, and it can like blow out one of their organs. Don't get me lying. I can't remember if it's kidney or liver off the top of my head.
It's kidney.
It's kidney.
Yeah, they get kidney stones.
Yeah, it's
that's a major surgery to fix that.
That's a culling.
Yeah, if it's either cull or if you're lucky enough to have a poultry vet nearby and you got a whole bunch of money to spend.
We do not. We used to have one about 20 miles from my house and they closed down, and I'm not sure. I've been looking. If y'all know of a good poultry vet near Johnson County, that's as far as I'm giving you, let me know. Post it in the comments. Yeah,
there's actually one right in Greenville where I've taken my bird.
It's a long drive.
Yeah, not for me.
Yeah. If you're up in this area, Wills Point, which Sherman is not too far from here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Sherman area.
Geography is not my area. If you're near the Wills Point area, Greenville is where to go. So
yeah.
Okay, back to topic. We diverged, chasing rabbits. All right, what colors do you have?
I have the splash, buff, black, and paint.
So more on an experiential side, what problems have you had personally that you've had to confront with breeding Silkies?
I'd say the biggest ones would be, for starters, dying at lockdown failure.
Define what lockdown is real quick.
Lockdown is the 3 days before hatch and during incubation, when you make sure the humidity is raised. If you don't dry hatch, of course.
Yeah.
Depends on the way you hatch.
Yeah, but that's when you stop turning the eggs and if you can, crank the humidity up, unless, like you said, you're dry hatching. So
Yep, and you open the vent, and then you just leave them alone.
Leave them alone. So yeah, you've had a hard time with them, like it's like sudden infant death syndrome, but for chickens, it's the chicken equivalent. And those last 3 days can be rough. I have it happen way more often in the Silkies than any other breed. Yeah. Okay, so you breed your you breed your Silkie and you breed your Cochin together. And you get some babies and you're like, these are the babies I want to use for my satin project. And then you take them to a good quality Silkie and you breed them together. What are you going to end up with?
You're still going to end up with mixes, because it's got to be done over a period of 6 or 7 generations before they'll breed true.
Okay, so 6 or 7 generations before you get them to breed true. And that's actually really, really important. That's what I was wanting to work towards. A lot of people think a satin is just a mixed breed. Yes, it is, but that said, so is like every other breed. People, come on. Leg bars, leghorn, barred rock. Over many, many generations with some other things, they stabilized it so that they breed true to form. It stabilizes the offspring so that every one of them looks similar or just the same. That's important, because in order to get a chicken breed standardized by APA regulations, the #1 thing is it has to breed true to form. So if you're breeding satin chickens and you're going to advertise them as satin chickens, you need to be aware of this. Satin chickens are in the process right now where leg bars and Americanas and some others were, say, 10 years ago. They're just starting to get it together so that they can get that APA regulation and standardization so that they can be officially a individual breed. So if somebody says, oh, I've got a Cochin and I've got Silkies and I brought them together and I've got Satins for sale now. No, they don't. They have Cochin Silkie mix who are really, really cute, but they need to keep working on it if they're going to want to call it a Satin. And that's what you have done 6 generations later. So you've done that. It's been 6 generations. You've got this bird. You're ready to take it to the APA and show this thing and be like, we're ready to be our own breed along with everybody else. What is it you're going to be showing them? What are the traits of this bird?
Yeah, the bird. Well, if you're showing Satins, the bird must have 5 toes, black skin, a nice big crest, and its body figure must be V-shaped.
That V shape you were talking about.
Yeah.
What about the feathers? Do they look like a Silkies or do they look like a Cochin or somewhere in between?
That'd be hard to describe. Well, they don't obviously they don't look like Silkies.
Right. That's why they're separate there. So,
but they don't
have
really
a satin baby that we can see. Can we see a satin baby?
I have a couple younger ones. Yeah,
that'll work. Hang on, we'll be right back. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, a Satin and a Silkie are really, really close to each other. See this beautiful puff up here. This little girl's broody, so we're gonna go fast. But I wanted to show you the difference in feathers. So first off, let's show the Satin feathers. Now, as you can see, they're smooth. These are really, really soft. I don't know if you can tell or not in the video, but they're just really, really soft and really smooth. So they're like a Cochin's, but the ends of each individual feather ends in just this little bit of fuzziness, so they're not as tight as a Cochin's normally are, and that's just beautiful. Now this girl is really struggling because she wants to go sit back on her egg, so I'm going to go put her back on her egg, and then we'll come back and look at a full-blood Silkie. Okay, now this is a juvenile, very beautiful though.
She just started laying
What
the
is
other
this
day.
color called?
It's Splash.
This is a blue splash?
Yep.
Blue splash. And as you can see, her feathers look more like fur than they actually do feathers. Now they do have the individual quills, but the small little quills are very tiny, very hair-like themselves, and they don't have the barbs in between each of the hair follicles that binds them together and makes them more smooth. So Silkies have this beautiful crest. They have, as you can see, let's see if I can get a good shot of her toes here for y'all. 5 toes, and they have black skin, like you can see like around her face there, that black skin. They also have blue earlobes, and yes, their meat and everything all the way through is solid black. If you're Oriental, it's a delicacy. If you're American, that's horrible. That's just really weird. If I ever pulled up a black chicken nugget, I'd definitely give it back. But yeah, so Silkies, why would you want Silkies, Chloe?
Well, for starters, they're real beautiful birds. So they make good yard candy.
They do make good yard candy, but you were talking about like the satin, and obviously that's like a trait that passes down.
Yeah, the broodiness too. So they'll basically give you more chickens for free.
Yeah, they'll hatch all your eggs. Like you give them any kind of breed egg, and they will absolutely hatch.
To be honest, they'd probably even try to hatch an emu or ostrich egg if you gave it to them.
Probably maybe just one though, because they really don't get much bigger than this.
Yeah, I don't think they'd try, but I don't think they'd be able to, even with just one.
Right. So let's see. What color eggs do Silkies lay?
They can lay anywhere from white to cream. It depends on how much bloom that specific bird has. White to cream, depending on the bloom. Okay. And how many eggs would you say they give you a year? I mean, it just depends on how many times they went broody that year. But basically, I find that they lay every day except for when they're broody.
Yeah, every day except when they're broody. Yeah, that's been my experience too. I've still got a couple girls. I have been trying desperately to free range my silkies and cochin and bantams. And
yeah, with these
the
little
hawks are
chickens.
just really, really terrible. We're trying to get a pen set up, and there's some other ideas I saw online. And so these birds are really best
Yeah, they're
cooped
best.
up.
Yeah,
They're best cooped up. How much space do they need?
I'd say for pen space. I'd say for pen space, about 4 square feet per bird minimum would be fine.
Nesting box space?
I'd say you wouldn't need anything that big, but I don't have any exact measurements off the top of my head. But you could
say about like a foot by 2 foot or a foot by foot.
You can look at the ones I've got already if you want.
Is it okay if we show everybody that?
Yep, I've got 2 on the
Awesome.
on the
We're
floor.
gonna put this girl back and take a look at those breeders. Okay, so this is Chloe's nesting boxes, and in here she's got a couple of silky babies that she hatched out to add to her flock. But what we're in here to see is actually her nesting boxes, and these are about a foot square, and we've got like a little Easter egg girl in there. She's so cute. And that was actually, does she give you green eggs?
She gives me blue eggs.
Blue eggs, wow. Exciting. Oh, you got an egg up in there. In the cobweb.
Oh, let me. No, that's a fake.
That's a fake egg. I got confoozled. I love how much perch bar space you've got here.
Yep,
you said about a foot per bird.
That's just a rough estimate.
Yeah. Probably a good one. That's probably a good one.
Yeah, and they perch up here too. I use that. I got all these ladders there so that they can use the entire space.
Wow.
Since the silkies can't fly.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. The silky pullet.
The little silky pullet, that little one that we were just holding?
Yeah, she had just started laying the other day.
Oh my god.
And she's got tiny little eggs.
The little bitty. Okay, they're called fairy eggs, and I'll be honest.
I call them fairy eggs.
We call them fairy eggs. Like if you go to the poultry community and they're like, you Google it and you look up fairy eggs, they're chicken eggs. They're underdeveloped chicken eggs. They're usually from like the first couple that they lay, and they're so tiny and adorable. They look like robin's eggs or something when they're that small, like just teeny tiny. I actually have a collection of them on my windowsill, and I'm gonna dry them out and paint them, and then make like a little fairy egg display.
Yeah, with those little
crafting projects,
little fart eggs like that, I usually just feed it right back to the chickens.
Feed it back to the chickens.
Yeah,
that's one use for it. Yeah, chickens need that stuff. So.
Yeah, it gives them their nutrients back since we can't use the egg like that.
Is that your reward to them for their first egg? Like, good job. Here's your reward.
And then some extra calcium with it.
Extra calcium. That's good. What do you give yours for calcium? Oyster shells or just their egg shells?
I do a mix of both.
Mix of both? Yeah, it's good. It's real good.
Yeah,
awesome.
I also have some free choice layer.
We are cooking out here, people. I could talk to this girl all day long, but Carl, bless his heart, is the only one that's still got a significant amount of shade. I could water my garden with my face right now. This is terrible. All right. So, Chloe, you have been fabulous. Thank you so much for showing us your birds and the babies I picked up. I'm so excited. I'm going to go home, and you know the routine. I'll get a video for y'all, and we'll show you the babies too. So thank you so much for having me out again. I really enjoyed visiting with you today.
Yeah. I hope this is helpful for you.
I think so. I really do. And we're going to show everybody. You have hatching eggs and chicks available all the time, don't you?
Yeah.
Like, do you just one out, next one in? Do you do like I do there at the incubator?
Yeah, unless somebody pays me to incubate some eggs for them, because I also offer a service like that.
That's cool. How many incubators do you run at once?
I just have one.
Just the one right now?
Yeah, I don't have the money for a second one.
I understand. How much do you charge per dozen hatching eggs?
For a dozen eggs, I usually do about $8 since I don't have my bloodlines perfected yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could charge more once it's perfected, but not at this point.
Yeah, that's actually a good deal. But you've got all the traits in your genetic lineage there. All you've got to do is keep working on it. So
yeah, I'm just
keep going. I think you're going to be a new and upcoming face in the poultry industry. So everybody, keep your eyes open, for Miss Chloe Coates and her Silkies and Satins and Polkies. Bye.
Wow, it could not have been hotter out there if we had put a sauna in the middle of the field and just laid in it. Like, wow, oh my gosh, Texas gets so bad. So I am here at the house and I wanted to go over and go through the book. This is the American Standard of Perfection. This is the 44th edition, and it has all the specifications that judges are going to look for silkies. So if you're looking for show quality silkies, this is the checklist that we talked about earlier that tells you all the standards that judges are looking for. So let's look at silkies and their standards. So I'm not going to go through this whole thing. This is like 3 pages long here total. But we're going to hit some highlights, okay? So first off, disqualifications. Chloe was talking about the V-shaped formation. Now what that is coaching have that heart shape that we talked about in the coaching video, and you really want that heart shape to transfer over to satins. Now silkies don't necessarily have that, but they do have their own body conformations that the judges are looking for. That, however, is not a disqualifying trait. It will count against you in the judging process if your birds aren't shaped right, but it's not a disqualifier straight up. So what will keep your birds from being shown? Like, what will the judges walk in, take one look at your bird without going any further and be like, disqualified? According to the book here, the disqualified. First off, you do want black skin on the entire bird, like no red, none. So the bright red face, comb, and wattles can't happen. It's got to be black. The shanks, that's the legs, on the outside should be feathered all the way down to the toes. And the feathering needs to be silky feathering. It needs to not have the straight feathering. So that means primaries, secondaries, legs, toes, main tail feathers, all the wing feathers, all the back feathers, everything needs to be silky. So that fuzzy look, they need to not have that smooth look at all. And then vulture hawks. Vulture hawks is at the back of the knees, so the leg goes up. Here's a picture. The leg goes up and like at, I guess, what we'd call the knee there. If the feathers go like way, way, way out, those are vulture hawks. And I actually have a couple of my bantams have that. But I think it's cute personally, and I'm not showing my birds. So the heck with it. Vulture hawks it is. But not on silkies for show. No silkies, no vulture hawks on silkies for show. So basic things that you're going to find on like pretty much every pure blood silkie out there, whether it be pet quality or otherwise. It should have a walnut comb. Here's a walnut comb. Boom. So you can see what those look like. The beak should be short and stout and then curved just at the end. Again, black skin, black everything. Some of them have beards that's fuzz under the chin, and some of them don't. The ones that have beards, like, you shouldn't hardly see any wattles at all. And if they don't have beards, you'll be able to see the wattles, but they should be small. Like, these birds don't have like the big huge wattles that hang down halfway down their chests. Earlobes should be blue. Call it turquoise, but blue earlobes. Like, most birds have white or like brown, but they should be blue in silkies, which I love. I think that's so cute. Okay, so the only other thing I really want to touch on is coloration. What are approved colors for silkies? Approved colors are different than available colors because there's splash, there's models, there's like really, really cool options out there, but they're not approved. So if you're going to show them, the approved colors are black, blue, white, and buff. That's it. Black, blue, white, and buff. Those are the colors. So, boom. That is all the APA stuff. Now, birds themselves should weigh around 28 to 32 kilograms, light, like a couple pounds, like maybe 3 or 4 pounds at the most. In America, Silkies were actually bred to have a smaller size, so weirdly enough, they're not considered a true bantam. Even though here in America they are, internationally, they're not considered a true bantam because they were just bred to be on the smaller side. They weren't actually bred with a bantam breed. And that was specified in this book right here. So let me show you that really quick. I'm going to read that to you so I don't sound like an idiot. Okay, Silkie. An ancient breed most likely originated in China. Breed is sometimes called the Japanese Silkie, even though it probably arrived in Japan from China, so it's probably more of a Chinese Silkie, but whatever. The breed name comes from its soft, fur-like plumage resulting from the inability of the feather barbs to lock. Okay, we know that. All that fluff makes these birds look bigger than they really are. Silkies can mature to a weight of 4 pounds or more, but in North America, that's here in the good old United States, they are bred to be small and therefore are not true bantams. And that's why I say between 2 and 4 pounds, they're bred to be small. They're not true bantams. But we still count them as bantams. They're considered 32 ounces is the judging standard. And yeah, so that's everything on Silkies. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed meeting Chloe. I know I usually show and introduce y'all to very well-known, very experienced breeders who have been in the industry for a very long time, but I really wanted to give you a chance to meet somebody up and coming. Keep an eye on Chloe Coates and her Silkies. She's also working on the Polish, and don't forget about those adorable little Satins. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. So those babies I showed there a little bit ago in the brooder, those are the 5 that I got from her, and I can't wait till they get older and we see how many of them are pullets. So far it looks promising. Alright guys, so the next video I'm going to produce is going to be in the kitchen. We're going to be looking at how to make homemade mac and cheese. The next chicken video I'm going to do, I'm going to try to do a video on roosters. Why do you need roosters? If you can have them, what are they good for? Other than making babies. Love y'all. If you enjoyed the video, please take a moment to like it, give me a thumbs up. Be sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe. I know I've slowed down a lot this year on videos. There's a lot going on though, and I'm going to try to make the content of each video really impactful, really get as much information out as I can, and hopefully in a way that y'all can understand it and enjoy it. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.